let's do some news. That was a big deep breath.
It's a deep breath.
We've been talking
before the
Spider-Man, obviously. Yep. So Spider-Man No Way Home crossed $1 billion. The first movie to do that in the pandemic era, which is pretty insane because for people have been talking like when Suicide Squad came out, it's like, oh, it's because it's in the pandemic. When Dune came out, like it's always been, and then Spider-Man comes up and just blows everything away.
What, so 11 days?
Yeah, something like that. And it's still...
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So it's breaking records, obviously pandemic era records, but it's actually also beating records from just past movies. So that's pretty insane. What do you guys think about that?
Especially amidst like the whole like, Omnicron. Like I would think that would deter people.
Yeah. I mean, that just tells you the power
scared.
of
Yeah,
Toby
Spider-Man.
and Andrew.
Yeah, exactly.
Nostalgia, baby.
Hey, and also, just
COVID be damned.
And side note, all these MCU stuff wouldn't happen if it wasn't for, Spider-Man,
That's right.
the original Spider-Mans.
That's right. Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah, it's the highest grossing Spider-Man movie too.
That's crazy. And it's still
More
going.
than Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I know, right? Crazy.
Well, the crazy thing is like even movies that came. So The Matrix came out, which we're going to talk about, give our review towards the end of the show. But it got demolished.
Yeah.
And then The Kingsman came out too and just got obliterated.
Kings 2?
It's like that's insane to me. That it's not like The Matrix was like a no-name movie. Like people were excited for The Matrix, and I mean, Spider-Man was just a bulldozer.
It's just like what 14-year-old kid. I mean,
That's
also isn't
family.
Rated R too.
Isn't it R? Yeah. So it's like, can't really compete.
That's the problem.
They should have pushed it back a week or something like that. That was kind of rough.
Yeah. Well, and also they
close.
did the same release on HBO Max. So
Right.
I mean, I was gonna watch it at home, and then Mick was like, "I want to watch it in theaters." So I was like, "Okay, I can go out," but I was gonna just watch it at home, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that were like, "Hey, I just watched Spider-Man last weekend.
Yeah,
I'll just watch it on HBO Max." So that's gonna be, I mean, a big issue. Anyway, so that's money Spider-Man made. We're gonna do some
money.
trailer. We're gonna do some money talk, money shot,
Money talk with Jonah.
So the Batman dropped a trailer.
Yeah.
Josh didn't see it.
Heck no.
I don't know
Really?
if Mick watched
I'm not
it.
watching it, bro.
Mick watched it. Did you watch it,
watched
Corey?
it.
Okay. So Josh said no more trailers.
Okay.
So we should probably be careful to not spoil anything. We won't go into details.
It's very
But for
easy.
me, this was the best trailer. And that's saying something because the
last one
first
was so
two
intriguing.
were great. Like there hasn't been a bad trailer for this. And a lot of the scenes were the same.
Yeah.
But there's just something about, like, give you a little more story. The dialogue to me was like, this feels like Batman, Detective Batman. The stuff the Riddler was saying got me super hyped.
Yeah.
So I loved this trailer. This movie cost $100 million to make.
That's crazy.
And it looks
That's
better
insane.
than most comic book movies I've seen. Just from trailers, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, to me, that just says you don't need an excuse. Like, you don't need a $500 million budget to make something look good, because this looks insane.
I mean, they're not doing like a ton of CGI.
Right.
Like,
That's
I
the
know,
thing.
but
It's
it's
the whole point is it's grounded, and
Yes.
but I mean I think
that's the
what
point.
probably says more is you get a visual director like Matt Reeves
Yes.
and you let him do his thing, and that's what you get. I think that's the one takeaway. Whereas like these other studios will get a director that's like a visionary, and they're like, hey, we got to follow these things, and you can't do this. Like, just,
We've already filmed the action scenes.
Right.
You just do the other stuff.
yeah. So just let Matt Reeves do his thing, and I'm excited, even though I didn't see the trailer.
I say you don't watch anything anymore.
I'm not. That's
Honestly,
what I said. I watched the first two, and I was like, I know it was hard, dude. I was laying in bed.
Yeah.
And I looked at my phone, and it said, surprise, Batman trailer. And I was like, come on. And I
You resisted
resisted.
it.
Should have.
I said, don't tempt me, Frodo.
The movie doesn't need a third trailer. I mean, I don't think it did. Like
Well, it's
Jonas
probably
said,
going to get another one.
like
It'll get one more.
It'll get one more.
I don't
It'll
think
get
I'll
one-
watch.
And then
It'll
the
get a-
Joker will laugh at the end.
I don't think I'll watch the last one. But yeah, like Jonas said, it was a lot of
everything.
A lot of it was the same stuff we've seen with a little more detail. It was starting to get to the point where I was like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of would have liked to seen that in the
I can see
movie. Some of the stuff, it wasn't like
Some of the dialogue.
Some of
When
the
I heard
dialogue,
it,
I was
like, Mick's not going to like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that for that reason, I won't watch the next one. I mean, the movie's like, what, 3 months away?
Yeah. I don't understand you guys, though, because for me, this got me, like, I love the feel. Like, I've watched this trailer probably like 60 times. And then I went on YouTube and I watched trailer reactions to it and people talking about it. To me, it's just that moment when you watch something and you're like immediately want to just like talk to somebody about it. That's what I love about a good trailer. And that's what I'm talking about with the Spider-Man, with the money shot, all those things. That's what I love about trailers is I'm going to go watch this anyways, but this gets me more hyped for it. Like, midnight release, or they don't do midnight releases anymore, but when we watch this on
afternoon release,
the premiere night, I'm going to be so jacked because these trailers have been so good that I'm going to go in, and this is probably detrimental to me, but I'm going to go and being like, this is going to be the best movie ever made.
You answered your own question.
But I love it.
I don't know why you guys don't get super hyped up for something and then get disappointed. I don't know what.
But I love the ride that I'm on.
I enjoy it.
I'll take it. And it was a great trailer.
Yeah.
That's
and
the thing. Yeah.
Like you, I'm very excited for the movie. It's just like, I don't think it needs more trailers. Like, the movie is coming out.
The guy next to me is going to be eating peanuts and sucking on his fingers and ruin the movie for me, but oh well.
Yeah. But yeah, just a lot of cool like visual shots, like where the camera's mounted for certain things. It just looks amazing. Like, yeah, as much as I like the Spider-Man movie, you can tell that most of it is shot on like green screen, and it's really disappointing. And it's such a breath of fresh air to see actual sets, actual buildings that they shoot in, which you just don't see a lot of anymore, unfortunately, but it's awesome to see it. I mean, that's a big reason why I love Christopher Nolan movies.
Right, yeah, it's like Christopher Nolan's like, hey, we're going to turn a plane upside down and crash it, and we're going to shoot it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or like, we're going to flip the semi-truck, and it's all going to be practical.
Or just simple
stuff
like actually shooting in the ocean. Yeah. Instead of, we're on a stage and blah, blah. Like, you could just tell. It just feels more real.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If a trailer somehow ruins a whole movie, maybe the movie's not so good. I'm serious, because nothing in this, I don't think, ruined the movie. But if it did, the saying kind of weak.
I don't think it ruined the movie.
No. And I don't really expect
I don't think that's going to happen. That's why I'm okay with watching it.
But I'm just saying I would like to savor everything, see it first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I think that's
don't judge me.
I want to watch it 6 times.
I'm going to do whatever I want.
Just as good every time. Right. That's what I want.
Exactly.
I don't want a one-shot movie. I don't know. One-shot enjoyment. I don't know.
Catwoman looks awesome.
She looks great. She's going to, Zoe Kravitz. He's going to.
Spoiler, dude. Oh my gosh.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
Another trailer.
Wait, Lenny Kravitz in this movie?
His daughter.
All right.
And she's Aquaman's
stepdaughter.
I heard about that.
The other trailer that dropped last week after Spider-Man came out was the Doctor Strange trailer. They kind of had it at the end of, or a
Multiverse of Madness.
At the end of the end credit scenes. So what do you guys think of that? Sam Raimi, is the guy that did the original Spider-Mans.
That's what I'm talking about.
What do you guys think?
I thought it looked really good, especially if you watched WandaVision. I think it's pulling a lot from what happened in that show.
So,
looks chaotic.
Looks madness.
Yeah.
Madness and stuff. I think Sam Raimi has said before that his 2 favorite characters are Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. So I think they're giving it to the right person. I'm just curious to see, because again, it's Marvel, and we know how they're just machines, and they're just putting stuff out. You can tell, like Sam Raimi is one of those directors where you can tell his work.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see if we'll see any of that, and I'm kind of. I really hope we do, but I'm kind of nervous, and it'll just feel like...
Or if he's going to be, like, trampled over by the machine.
Yes. Well, Scott Derrickson was the director of the first one, and he left the second one for difference of opinion.
Well, and he said he wanted to make, like, a horror
movie. He wanted to do, like, a horror movie, which is interesting that he wanted to make a horror movie, and then they brought Sam Raimi in, who has got started doing... He is known for his horror movies.
So this might make you feel worse.
Oh, great.
So apparently they Benedict Cumberbatch was saying that he went they did reshoots. That they got all called back to do reshoots. And what people are saying is because of the Spider-Man, like how much hype there was for it, and they were already seeing that it was going to make a ton of money, that they're throwing in a bunch of characters to be like, let's go crazy with all the characters from different multiverses that we're bringing in. So that's kind of a rumor that's out there, is that they're reacting to that.
I mean, I'm okay with that because
it's called the Multiverse of Madness. So
it is going. I'm expecting crazy stuff,
but I'm expecting that too. But I think there's a fine line, and we've seen studios do this constantly. Is something hits and they're like, okay, that's what they want. Let's do more. Yeah. And there's, like we were even talking with Spider-Man, there's a fine line with fan service, which I love fan service, but there's a point where it's too much, right? Yes. And people, so that's a balancing act. So if they just got to be careful with that. If they had an original story and now they're like, hey, let's just throw more in here. Let's get the Human Torch. Let's get Hugh Jackman to come in as Wolverine. Let's do all this stuff. That's just kind of like, if it just becomes like cameo movie.
Well, let me ask this. After seeing Spider-Man, because a lot of that was fan service. Yeah. And the fact that we all really liked it and thought it was really good. Does that give you more hope that they'll still do it well? Or
originally I would be like, okay, but if they're now going back and saying let's do more, that makes me worried.
It's like last minute changes, and it's not like super intentional. Like it wasn't part of the script originally. Yeah, and that's to me where a worry.
That's to me, yes, that's to me where I'm like, I don't think that's Sam Raimi's decision. I think that's Kevin Feige and Disney being like, throw more in.
Probably.
So that to me is where I get worried.
And a big reason why Spider-Man works so well is because they had a library of backstory with these movies, and they got to play off that. So it depends on who they bring.
Yeah. You gotta tell me you're not going to be stoked when the camera pans up and it's Hugh Jackman's butt, and you're like, oh, it's Wolverine, he's back, baby.
The money shot.
Yeah, the money shot.
I want to see Ben Affleck as Daredevil back.
There you go. That would sell it. Yeah. And Colin Farrell as Bullseye.
Yeah, there you go. And I Corey, what you're
Bullseye from Toy Story 1. 2, I think it's 2.
I think what you're saying is right though, Corey. There's an element where with the Spider-Man, with Spider-Man, they wrote the script for those characters, and you can tell that they brought stuff back from their movies. If this is just like, hey, let's just
who are they going to bring in?
Let's just throw in.
That's what I'm wondering.
Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Like they can do that now because they own Fox. So to me, it's like if they're doing that,
pretty pumped about it.
Yes, that would be cool. But to me, it's like if it's not written well and it's just thrown in there, that's going to feel off to me.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we won't know until the movie comes out, but
we'll find out.
You can figure it out.
I'll let you know.
I'll let you know beforehand.
I think this is the best. This is their best opportunity to introduce the X-Men, though. I think this is when they'll introduce the X-Men into the MCU.
So chances. So who says yes? X-Men.
I think this is
well, because in WandaVision they've already talked about they've kind of made her a mutant and she's in the movie, so it's like.
Well, and here's the other thing. I think now they were so keen on keeping Spider-Man in the MCU. Like that was the biggest thing. Like they were going to war with Sony. And now they seem to be like, let him go to do his own thing. Because I think they're like, we were going to have so many characters that we're not going to have time to do a Spider-Man movie. Yeah. Now Sony, you take care of it. We milked Spider-Man for what we needed to.
Do what you will with her and broom her fine.
Exactly. That's what they're doing. Because I think they're going to introduce the X-Men. They've got all this other stuff they're doing. So it'll be interesting.
And then we get Zac Efron as Wolverine, baby. Let's go.
There you go.
I'll be down.
Did you have the PlayStation stuff you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. So they just announced, I think they come out in January. So they're basically, there were some companies that came out when the PS5s first came out, and they're making their own basically plates so that you can customize your PS5 because it's super easy to pop them off and put them on. And so they started getting cease and desist letters, which kind of tipped everyone off that like Sony's like, yeah, we can make money off of this. Yeah. So they basically announced 5 different colors. So it's like a pink, a light blue, a black, kind of like a purple, and then like almost like a reddish. I think it's called Galaxy Red or something like that.
The red controller they have?
Yeah, so now and then they're releasing controllers with that same color scheme also. So those are going to go on sale in January.
It's just solid colors. There's no like
Solid colors.
Yeah,
there's
just-
no like Red Dead Redemption.
No, just
ones.
solid colors. But I wonder if that's going to pave the way for, because I mean now, back in the day you would get a custom or a special edition PS5 or a PS4 or Xbox, and it had like the characters on there, like your Batman
Like my
one and stuff
Diablo
like
Switch.
that. Yeah, your Diablo Switch. But now with the PS5, it's so easy to just like pop those off and put a custom one on. I wonder if they'll start selling customized ones, which will be interesting. Which, I mean, the color ones right now are kind of like whatever. If they did come out with something cool, like I've seen people doing custom ones of like Spider-Man. So it's like the Spider-Man, like the back of his suit for the cover. It looks sweet. If they started doing things like that, then I'll probably be like down to buy some.
I give a very high likelihood of them
Yeah.
doing special editions.
Which is kind of cool because it'll be cheaper than being like, oh, I got to buy a $600
whole new-
PS5
The thing is
now.
that there's
yeah.
a shortage, right?
Right.
So this solves that problem of being able to make special edition things,
Right.
customized things, without having to make more PS5s.
Yeah.
So super smart.
They're going, yeah. I wonder if when they'll come out with like a retro one, because there's a company called Colorware you can send your stuff to, or they basically customize controllers or anything. And they started coming out with like a retro PS5 controller, so it's all gray, or then they have like the gray painted covers on there. So I'm like,
cool.
Yeah, there's lots.
It's
of
a
companies
no-brainer
do
that-
customization.
Sony would do that, like people that want to, it looks like the PS1 or whatever. But yeah, so that those go on sale in January. So
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably mess around with it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to like do 2 different colors or something. And
yeah.
I'll probably get one and put it on my
PS4.
shelf and pretend that I have a PS5
Yeah.
and just like pretend I'm putting a 4K
Put like a
movie in and then
put a black
stream it.
box or put a PS3 in between it.
Put it over my Switch.
That'll do it for today, though. If you guys enjoyed the news section of this, please like and subscribe. It all adds up. And we'll see you guys in the next one.